Greetings! I am Herbert Erpaderp, and the time for the asking of the Herbert Erpaderp is once again here. Before we get to the questions, I just want to say thank you to everybody who came by my streams and helped me raise money for WIRE's Wildlife Emergency Fund, which is doing great work to help animals affected by the bushfires we've been having, and continue to have, here in Australia. I was able to donate $125 on Monday night, which is about $95 more than I could have done by myself. So thank you very much. The $69.69 US total raised on stream was also very nice. Of course, there are people who are going to say, "That's not much, why bother?" But every bit counts, and it's better than doing nothing, which is probably what that kind of person is doing. I very much appreciate it, and am thankful for the contributions everybody made. Okay, question time. Trekan Belovich said, "Do you have any interest in building tank models from the World War I era?" I do, but not quite as much as World War II stuff. There just aren't a whole lot of tanks from World War I, where there are tons and tons of different tanks and other interesting things later on, which makes sense, tanks were new in World War I. I was actually pondering the other day that I might pick up an A7V or a Whippet or something someday, though it's not a priority. I've also got those Battlefront A7Vs I could paint. Maybe sometime this year. Don't hold your breath though. Vrokali said, "What's your favourite interwar tank?" I don't know. I don't really have a favourite. I think BT-7 was an interwar design, or maybe something like the T-35 or Independent. Those are both really interesting, and I think they're good choices, but there's probably a ton more that I haven't even thought of. Stuglife said, "Have you ever met a very experienced modeler in your life, like Plasmo or Night Shift?" I guess I have. I have spoken to plenty of people at modelling shows and such over the years, and I've met plenty of experienced modelers. I guess the question is really more like, have I met people that somebody might get all excited and fanboy over? If I have met somebody like that, I haven't realised it. I don't tend to do that sort of thing anyway. I have met plenty of people you might consider famous, well, not super famous, but they're just people, and I find it hard to get excited about just people, even if what they do is super awesome. Trekan Belovich said, "What do you think about roofs?" Roofs or roofs? What is the plural? I think they're pretty good. They're useful if you've got a structure that you would like to prevent rain or sun or weather of any kind from getting into. Martin Gotham said, "How did you come up with your name?" My parents were either very cruel or very kind. Actually, I stole it from an old ENN video, which was a parody gaming news show that Loading Ready Run did when they were on The Escapist. There was a story about a games voice actor or something like that called Herbert Erpaderp, who could only talk like and was out of work because games were now capable of having full voiceover and stuff like that. I'll try to find a link to the video and put it in the description. I did actually name one of my mice Herbert Erpaderp before I started using it for myself online. The Master Cutler said, "Did you enjoy painting the 1/285th scale tanks from GHQ a while back? And have you considered buying more?" I did enjoy it. It was something different, though it did involve quite a bit of squinting. And I do want to pick up some more of them, though it's not really a priority. I do get a postcard from GHQ every now and then, and I'm tempted pretty much every time. I don't have or intend to build armies for any games in that scale though, and I never see them in the hobby shop, so I just never end up buying them. It's probably about time though, maybe I should. Smoes said, "Should I watch the video on the ass? I've been assing around rather than watching it." Get your ass into gear and watch it now. You can ass around at the same time. Digital Rocket said, "I also haven't watched the video on the ass yet. Will I need my assist?" I believe that's meant to say assistant. If you have an assistant, they will probably be more than happy to assist. Though you shouldn't need them, really. Ass! I just like saying it. Amateur Hobbyist said, "Would you be interested in doing a review of some of the products from OTP Terrain, which is based in Perth, Western Australia? I've never heard of them, but after perusing their site it looks like they've got a lot of cool stuff, and I would like to get my hands on some and do some videos about them. The price is a little bit high for me to buy much there at the moment though, considering I don't really game enough to justify more terrain. though I suppose, to be fair, the 15mm scale versions of things are a lot cheaper. I do think it's cool that you can select the scale of their stuff, and some of those buildings they have look like they would be fun to paint. In the comment section of last fortnight's Ask a Herbert Erpaderp, that old gamer said, "Do you watch any other scale modelling channels? My favourites, along with yours, are Night Shift and Plasmo." I am familiar with those channels and I'm subscribed to both, and a bunch of other modelling related channels like Andy's Hobby Headquarters and QDC. There is a bunch more, but the names are escaping me. I don't really watch a ton of modelling stuff. There's only really so much I can take before I start to burn out. I know there are people who have what seems to be a singular obsession with models, but I'm not one of them. I spend so much time either making models or videos about them that, even though I really enjoy it, I usually just want to watch something else. I do actually watch more streamers on Twitch than YouTube lately, but even then, my YouTube subscription box is full of a variety of stuff. I would say that about a fifth of it, maybe less, is modelling related. Jan Tima said, "Is it fair to use a flak-verling against infantry?" Fair? Maybe not. But if you're fighting fair, you're doing it wrong. At least to an extent. There is international humanitarian law, and committing war crimes is bad. I don't think using something like a flak-verling against infantry would be a war crime though, and I'm sure that sort of thing has happened numerous times. EP Art said, "In your opinion, when does edgy internet humour try too hard to be shocking?" Almost always, and it's almost never actually shocking. I see these little edgelords and I think, "Oh, Babby's first racial slur." And if you've been around the internet for a while, or even just been alive for a while, things just aren't that shocking. I guess unless you're really, really sheltered. I'm sure they think they've made you mad when you delete them or whatever, but the reality is you click a button and the next moment they're forgotten. Still, it is good to get rid of that sort of thing. It makes online places worse, and the more you tolerate it, the worse the place will get, and the people worth interacting with will leave. Rockstrongo said, "What do you think of Polacco's modelling school Discord? Are you on any other modelling Discords?" I'm not really on any other modelling Discords. Most of the Discords I'm in are related to streamers or just games that I like. As for Polacco's, if I'm even saying that right, it's a bit of a dumpster fire in my opinion. I'm sure whoever runs it is doing their best to make it a good server. Also, there are some very good modelers on there, though in my, admittedly limited, observation, I think the word school might be a bit strong. It's also a place that's totally fine with racism and homophobia, which is just plain gross. Surely there are some decent people there, but it's definitely filled with teenage boys, and everybody knows what teenagers are usually like. I guess that's a bit of an unfair thing to say. Some of them are ostensibly adults. I do find it kind of funny how much shit they talk about me and my Discord there. Searching the word Herbert will get you well over 100 results. Everything from what an ass I am, which is fair, to how my Discord is the worst modelling Discord ever, though it's never been a modelling specific Discord, to whining about not being included in Ask a Herbert Erpaderp with that self-pitying, "it's deliberate" attitude, whining about things they don't like being complimented. There was even one child on there getting angry because somebody on my server had a nice kit, and they felt like that person didn't deserve to have said kit because they wouldn't build it properly. It's all petty childish stuff that you wouldn't be surprised to see coming from insecure teenagers with limited self-awareness that can't tell the difference between opinion and fact and take modelling way too seriously. They also seem to think that I don't say what I want, which is strange, but then shitty people usually do assume that everybody thinks the same way that they do. In the end, it says more about the people talking the shit than anybody that they're talking about, and it's not really my problem. There is a few of their members on my server, and to be honest, I'm not really sure why they're there, or how long they'll be staying. But whatever. Let's go and look at some models. Maybe I'll say something positive about them. Oh, the horror! First up, Jack647 has shared his first 1/72nd scale tank. This very nice 75mm M4A1 Sherman. The model is by the Plastic Soldier Company, and Jack scratch built a couple of bits as well, like the antenna, which was made using the stretched sprue method. He also moved the MG back a bit so that the commander's hatch could be open, though the commander will come later. The tank's name is the Bomb, which I think is an entertaining name. This is very nice work. keep it up. Trekan Beluvic has shared this Puma, which is a Battlefront model, and an SDKFZ 231 8-Rad by the Plastic Soldier Company. Both of them are in 15mm scale. Two different, yet kind of similar 8-wheeled vehicles, both of which have been very nicely painted and have been decorated with the insignia of the 2nd Panzer Division. Good work from Trekan Beluvic is unsurprising, and I always enjoy seeing it. Ratto has finished these Perry World War II American GIs, including some mortar lobbing boys. These are amazingly done. They're the first batch of, well, I don't know how many. Probably quite a few though. Ratto says this is not his best work, but it is still very, very good work. The Vika has finished the armoured vehicles for their Team Yankee Soviet Force for Oil Wars. The Shilkas and some T-62s have slat armour made from styrene strip, and the T-64s have ERA made from styrene tile. These are very well done, and as a force it looks very imposing. Not everything is the exact same shade of green, but it still looks like a consistent force that's been fighting hard in the Afghan desert. Excellent work. Monol shared this awesome little diorama featuring a Humvee. I must have missed the specifics on the model. It sure does look great though. It really is a simple little scene, but that's not a bad thing. Monol probably did this on stream, and you should definitely check him out on Twitch. Just search for Monol's Bunker. The Tourette's Gamer has finished their very first 1/35th scale model and diorama, this Meng FT-17. This is quite the muddy boy, and I think it looks rather good. I really like the camo pattern with the black line between the green and brown. It's quite fetching. Excellent work. I look forward to seeing your future works in this scale. Vrokali shared this Rust Stalker Princeps, which is for Kill Team. I know nothing about this model or what it does, but man is it interesting to look at. You've done an awesome job with this. There are so many things like nasty claws and swords and stuff. The capey cloaky thing it's wearing looks really nice too. Very cool. And that's it for the models this fortnight. As always, a big thank you to everybody who shares their work on Discord. If you do want to see everything, I would recommend you head over to the Discord server. There's a link in the description. Also, thank you to those who asked a question. If it weren't for the questions, it would just be a Herbert Erpaderp, and that just doesn't seem quite as good. Ask a Herbert Erpaderp will be back next fortnight. That's 2 weeks if you only speak freedom and don't know what a fortnight is. In the meantime, why not check out some of the other videos I've done, or better yet, drop by a stream. And if you haven't already, feel free to do the subscribey things or become a patron or YouTube member, because that would be awesome. Links to all of my things are in the description below. And as always, I shall return soon. So until then, be excellent to each other, and thank you for watching. Farewell.